First, of course, a big thank you to our organizers and also the notification that in September there will be the real event in Poland. If you're able to be there, please do. It's a very cool event. Of course, I think thank you to our sponsors. Be sure to check them out if you don't already know them. Let's deep dive into our session for today. My agenda is pretty basic. I want to do some full Power Platform business application demonstration. So first I'm going to do some basics, because on Power Platform basics, it's good to know why I chose some kind of tooling. And then I'm going to show you the business case with, of course, real life demos. Just like Thomas said, if you have any questions, please feel free to add them to the text chat of this session. Thomas will moderate them, and I will also keep a lot of room between the slides for you to ask questions. Just don't forget to unmute yourself before you do. Okay, then some info about me. I came from the Office 365 consultancy, and then I came into contact with the Power Platform. So now I'm fully focused on Power Platform. It's about 80% of my time by now. I'm like a citizen developer. I don't know any code. I cannot even spell HTML or CSS, but I can build business applications. So I may be like a school example of what you can do, because if I can do it, anyone can do it. I work for InSpark. It's a consultancy company within the Netherlands. If you're anywhere near Amsterdam in the future, please feel free to join us at the office, have a cup of coffee, and I'll show you also some of the business cases that we have within our own smart office and our own business processes where we use the Power Platform. Really cool to share. Connect with me through LinkedIn or Twitter. Check my blogs. I post about every few weeks some things about Power Automate flows, Power Apps applications, whether it's model-driven or Canvas. Yeah, please feel free to hook up and join our community, because the Power community is growing every day. When I'm not working on the Power Platform Office 365, I spend a lot of time with my family. There isn't a lot of nice weather in the Netherlands, but when it is, we try to enjoy them as much as possible. And whenever I hit a snag with one of my business applications, I just take out my bike and go for the ride. And after a few minutes, I probably have cleared my head, and I get a whole new perspective and another way to solve the error that I got with my flow, or the function that I can't get to work in my Power App. So it's always a good moment to unfocus, because sometimes it just helps to get your mind off things and then can come up with a whole new solution, especially within the Power Platform. Then enough about me. I see we have about 39 participants. You should have a device, otherwise you would not be able to see me present. So if you are able to go to menti.com, use the code of 368909 and share with me what your job title is, so I can see what audience I have today and see if I need to change anything within my presentation on the go. So again, please visit menti.com, use the code, enter your job title, and then we can see if we have which audience we have today. So is it working? Is anyone trying? Yes, I see some results. Thank you. Very good. Nice. So a lot of diversity. Cool. Oh, for a SharePoint Saturday, a lot of Power Platform focused minds. Nice. Okay, collaboration, of course, SharePoint Saturday. Platform owners, so also administrators. Good to see. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time, but I see a lot of diversity. That's good. I think during my demo, you will see I will go through all layers of possible application involvement, project managers. Okay, so keep Menti open. Every now and then I will ask you a question, and I will use Menti also for you to use another channel to ask me some questions, and we will walk through them at the end. Now, let me continue. The next sheet is, now I know what you do in your daily business. Can you please share with me how familiar you are with the Power Platform? So the next question is for you to answer is, do you know the basics? Have you heard about it? Never heard about it? This is a SharePoint Saturday after all. Power Platform experts, that's good. So if I have any questions, I can ask them to you. Nice. Some people familiar. Oh, the starters. Cool. Okay. So I can turn up the velocity a little. Nice. Okay, let us continue. First, I wanted to share with you some basics on the Power Platform. And why? Because we need some background before I show you the demo. And it's always good, especially on an event that's mainly collaboration and SharePoint focused, to show you the possibilities of the Power Platform and to get a full basic grasp on the positioning it within your enterprise solutions. So the basics. This is the, I think it was about a year ago. It was this picture with the Microsoft Power Platform with Power Apps, Power BI, and Microsoft Flow. And of course, some connectors that were included with Dynamics Office and some standalone apps. As you can see, it's mainly about tools and it's mainly about data. And that's why I like the new picture a lot more better, because it just shows you the digital tool of Power Virtual Agents for the bots, but it just shows you that these 4 tools of the Power Platform can be used for anything. It can be connected to any data source, whether it's through a standard connector, a premium connector, or even a basic custom connector. The portals, I will also show you something about that today as part of Power Apps. And of course, additional AI builder options. It used to be a lot of coding. And the common data service that I'm gonna show you up next. So the common data service, like in this picture, it has a special place within the Power Platform. So you have the tools, but without any data, the tools will not have any added value. So from an Office 365 guy point of perspective, I used to create my first Power Apps and Power Automate flows within SharePoint, right? So the common data service, I thought I was never going to use because, hey, I'm just an Office 365 guy and not a Dynamics guy, which is probably the source of common data service. So I only use data connectors for Power Apps and Power Automate to SharePoint. And since this new Power Platform attention, since about 1.5 years, I gained more experience in the common data service, and I'm going to show you why the common data service could be a next level of maturity within your business applications. Because all these things that you see in these different kind of layers that we used to create ourselves with SharePoint or SQL databases or even Excel sheets, these are out of the box in CDS present. So it's like a database out of the box, fully mature with record level security, things that were always a pain in the ass in SharePoint. It's designed to be building business applications for you to manage as the business yourself. So the always existing complaint that IT has no time to help the business can be taken away. And the environments are very important topic in the common data service, because even though you have one Azure tenant, for example, you can have multiple environments with multiple databases. You can separate the data, but you can also combine the data. So the last sheet I want to do on the Power Platform is the one that was pretty impressive from the speech in the last year, is the digital feedback loop. because especially when data is becoming the center of your processes, whether it's internally or externally to customers or suppliers, or you just want to improve your own products, this feedback loop will be more and more important and will be more and more competitive advantage in your business. So yeah, please use the Power Platform in a way to optimize these 4 components. Okay, so I'm gonna take some time for questions now because this was the Power Platform basics. I'm gonna shut up for a moment and see if anyone who wants to unmute and ask a question about what I've discussed thus far. Otherwise, I will continue to the next slides. Okay, I don't see any chats, questions, so no, let's continue. So here is the business case. So before I dive into the business case, I want to make sure that any names, characters, businesses, or people that I will show you in my demo, and any resemblance to real life people or even copyrighted content is purely coincidental. So this is the disclaimer if my recording ever goes online and somebody wants to slap me with a lawsuit. This is the business case. Meet Pearson Specter Litt. This is a totally fictitious lawyer firm. And within this lawyer firm, they have a lot of paper processes. Just like any old school legal firm, they have a lot of paper processes. And one of those processes we're going to handle today. And I'm going to show you using 3 user roles. One is the role of Jessica. Jessica is the managing partner, you could say CEO of the law firm. And she is kind of a control freak. She wants to know everything that's going on within her business without her having to do it herself. So that's always the management issue. Then we have Harvey. He's one of the top lawyers within the firm. He's also a named partner, but he doesn't want to be bothered a lot with everything that goes on within the firm, but he wants to know everything that's related to him. So he is managing everything, but just for himself. And then we have Rachel. Rachel is one of the top associates within the law firm, and she just wants to do as much as she can within the time that she has, and to do it as most efficiently as possible. So we're going to use some Power Platform scenarios today. Okay, so we're going to take this process. This is the as-is situation. A customer of the law firm wants to contact the law firm to get updated on cases or to give updates on cases. And now at the moment, they would need to contact the law firm by phone or by email or just drop by, not during the Corona crisis right now, but they would have to call or email. They would have to talk to one of the colleagues that they can get a contact on, and that colleague would take some notes, register the contact, inform the lawyer that is actually handling the customer or handling the case. That lawyer would need to be informed and get more info from any way that he or she can, and then he or she would contact the customer again and update the customer. So we can see a lot of pain points within this process, right? Because contacting the law firm is like a black box for the customer. It may be hard to reach anyone, so it takes a lot of time and effort. And even when you get to contact someone, there's always a risk of misinterpretation. And there is the risk that the colleague will not document it in a centralized location, so no one will ever know that the customer tried to contact us anyway. So these are some of the pain points. It may take too long to inform your colleague to contact the customer. Just the same that it may take too long for the actual lawyer to contact the customer. There's always a risk of miscommunication because there have been 2 handovers right now. And again, there may be a risk that the data will not be recorded, or it may even be a risk that the lawyer who is contacting the customer is acting on all the information. So I'm going to show you how you will be able to use the Power Platform components to take away the issues in this process. And I'm going to show you using some demos. Using the should-be situation. Let us start with the customer. let's say I'm a customer of this lawyer firm, and we're going to give that customer a portal where he or she can log into, and she can see the cases that he or she is related to, and I can contact the firm using that portal. So for me, it doesn't matter if I contact Jessica, Harvey, or Rachel. For me, this organization is just a single point of contact that I want to have. So I'm going to show you the Power Apps portal. This is the Power Apps portal. So this is just, it's not a default portal anymore. I was able to change it for styling using CSS, just by using one of the CSS free online editors that I had. I just changed some colors. And this is like a Power Apps portal that anyone can log into. If you use this URL, you will be able to access it even right as we speak. This is the portal that is open to everyone. So anyone can access this portal. And you can see, this is the navigation at the top. It's very short, it's very limited, because as you can see, I'm not signed in. So this is the information that we want to share with everyone. And please be aware that they have made it very easy to share data. So let's say that you want to share some page on your portal with your customers, and you have not shielded off any information on your Power Apps portal in the right configuration. People will be able to see any data from your common data service, just like this. Some very personal data that you may not want to be sharing with anyone. So please be aware of this when configuring your Power Apps portal. When you do changes, it's immediately live. It may take a few minutes, but the data will be immediately shown. And there is no extra authentication requirements unless you configure them. So it's like the 80-20 rule, right? In 80% of the cases, you want to be sharing your information in an easy way. So Microsoft turned it around. In Power Apps portal, if you share information, it can be accessed by anyone, unless you configure it to be, like an example that I'm going to show you, to be behind an authenticated user. Okay. Any questions now on this, me showing the Power Apps portal? I'm going to take a few seconds. Unmute your mic. Ask me a question about the Power Apps portal.
People, don't be shy. This is an opportunity that won't repeat very soon.
I will take some time every now and then. So maybe the shyness will be taken away during the session. Okay, so let me show you the Power Apps portal. I'm the customer. I can sign in. We have configured our portal that people can use log on using a username and password. Even though it's old school, they do have multi-factor authentication on the traditional username and password. So that's one. You can, of course, use Azure Active Directory, which is built in. And you can use LinkedIn. I, for example, going to use LinkedIn just to show you that even though I have an account using my InSpark email address, I can use an authentication method. I can link to that account from any other method that's available. And you can use like third-party identity providers like LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. And now you can see that the navigation has changed. Very cool, right? And you can see in my profile that my email address is my work email address, because my cases will be linked to my email work address. But the way that I will authenticate to this portal, I can manage myself if the portal is configured that way. So as you can see, when I do click on Manage External Authentication, that I can connect this profile, this in a traditional CRM database, this is like a contact record with this email address. And when I'm going to do Manage External Authentication, I can connect authentication or identity providers to this contact record. As you can see here, Azure AD is connected. I can disconnect it. LinkedIn is connected. I can disconnect it. Okay. Then I'm going to show you that the navigation changed, right? Because when you're a logged in customer, you can see the services that we provide. But maybe more interesting is the cases that we have. So let's say I'm a customer. I can see my cases here. So I can see the cases. I can see the case numbers. I can see who my lawyer is in a specific case. even if it's a case of my company, because Thijs is one of my colleagues. I can see his case with his details. If you want to configure it that way, you can limit it just to my cases or just for the whole company, because we have the same company. You can configure it that way. You can see any details. So let's show the details of this case. You can configure it in any way that you want. So this is just like the least sexy form that I've created thus far. But you will see here the details of the case, any meetings or any hearings that have occurred in the past. Let's go to an older one, see if that has more details. You see that the people have updated the case details for me to check. Here are the meetings that I can attend, that I know that I'm aware of, just like that. Very easy, right? So the next case in my scenario is that I want to contact my lawyer about this case. Let me copy just the case number, and I'm going to say, okay, I want to contact Harvey, and we have like a default contact form, and I can paste like the case here and say, hey, this is my case number, and this is my email address, and of course you can pre-populate it. I haven't done this here, but you can pre-populate it with my email address to make it more personalized. And I can say, hey, I want to, here is the update on my case. And let's say, if I can do any nice attachments, like a track and trace record. So please find attached track and trace of my shipment. So that's just like a higher urgency documentation that I want to send to Harvey. So it's processing and it's saved. So like in this scenario, I would use like a Power Automate flow to send a confirmation to your email address, or not. That's an option. And we will see later on with this case that we have this number, what will happen now. So that's it, right? For me, going back to the presentation, for me now the black box is over because I can follow my cases, I can follow my requests. I can easily contact the company without me having to do any hard work or any dependency on the availability of one of the colleagues of the law firm. And let's now continue to the next role, because like I said, the next role is the Jessica. But before I go to Jessica, let me again take some time for you to ask any questions on what you have seen in Power's portals thus far. A few seconds, I'm gonna wait. Don't forget to unmute your mic. No, okay, let me continue. The next user in our business process chain is, of course, Jessica. And Jessica is, like I said, a kind of a control freak. And she wants to be notified when anything happens within the company related to any case. So let me show you what Jessica will experience. So this is Jessica. She's logged into her environment. Let me just refresh, because sometimes I need to re-authenticate with all these Chrome profiles that I have. Yes. So let's see, within the company, within the lawyer firm, we have decided to use Microsoft Teams as the collaboration platform. So what we want to do is make sure that Microsoft Teams is the hub, right? The collaboration hub for people to be notified if anything needs to be done. And as you can see, that within the management team of the firm here, that we have now seen that Django has submitted a contact request. And as you can see, that Jessica will not be doing anything to this contact request. She just wants to know. And what she also wants to do is, if this is important enough for Harvey to contact the customer, or if anyone will be able to contact the customer. So let's say that this adaptive card posted by Microsoft Flow in this Teams channel, and anyone can pick it up who has access to this Microsoft Teams channel. Let's say that Jessica wants to let Harvey know, and let Harvey know that this is a very important customer. Django has a lot of legal conflicts. So be sure to keep him on board. And just like this, Jessica knows that Django has submitted his contact request. And when I click OK, the process will continue. So this is easy, right? As you can see here, this is an adaptive card. And when it's responded, it will just log in. Hey, Jessica has responded already. This is the customer that we helped today. And now the flow just says, hey, Django posted this request. The case owner will help this customer within 1 day. And this is the comment that Jessica gave. So anyone within the management team was able to respond to this adaptive card without any authentication issues. We just post an adaptive card using a Power Automate flow. And then people will respond. And depending on that response, the next step of the process continues. And this is one of the example of an adaptive card. There is the adaptive card designer. It's a very good designer. Just Google it and you will see adaptivecards.io. And it has a lot of templates that you can use. And it gives you a lot of, I use, for example, in a later example, this one. It gives you a lot of feedback if you change immediately and you just copy this JSON code, paste it in your Power Automate flow, post the adaptive card to a Teams channel, and then you will get something like this. Nice, right? So let me go back to the slide and ask you again if there are any questions on this adaptive card in Teams channel using Power Automate Flow. Any questions thus far? Gonna take a few seconds. No? Okay. Then I'm gonna show you the next one is that even though Jessica doesn't want to be bothered with the details, she is able to access from the same Teams channel Power Apps app, and this I created like a model-driven app. And within that model-driven app, she is able to see an overview of all contact requests in the period that we have passed. We can do a short link to the cases that is linked to the customers that we have, any court meetings, any court hearings, of course, the customers that we have, and the contacts that we have. So this is like a customer management model-driven app clicked together in a few minutes based on the data model that we have in the common data service. And then any data is accessible for Jessica should she happen to want that. So this is pretty cool, right? Within Teams, she will have like a general channel where she can be notified of any customer that wants to contact us. She can assign the contact request to anyone. And of course, she can always go back to the real data without leaving Microsoft Teams ever. Okay, that's the model-driven app. Okay, then the next scenario. So we have done the customer, we have done Jessica, and the next one would be Harvey or Rachel, right? Jessica wanted to get updates and she wanted to be on-demand possibilities within regards to the data. And now we're gonna go to Rachel. And Rachel is assigned the task to keep an eye on the requests. So when Jessica has assigned the request to whoever, whether it's Harvey or anyone, it's still Rachel's responsibility to keep an eye on those requests. And how is Rachel able to do that? Let's go to Rachel's inbox. So as you can see, no emails, right? Within this law firm, we email as less as possible because we have business applications to support our processes. Let's go again to Teams. And as you can see that Rachel is no member of the management team. She is just a member of the Power Platform Center of Excellence because she's an expert in the Power Platform and she has access to the customer service Teams team. And what she has done is she has created her own Canvas app on the data. So she can monitor those customer requests. So with Jessica, we saw a model-driven app. Here I'm going to show you a Canvas app. So it's not a very sexy Canvas app. It's just very basic. It shows us the customer requests and it shows the logo of the customer. and it shows the status. So this is the one that we just had added, and she wants to see some details. So let's say she wants to see the details of that contact request, and she can just click on see more details, and then you can see, I will open this in a new screen, I'm sorry, just for you to make it more visible. You can see that this is the contact request created on April 3rd by Django Lohn, and this is the contact request details, and Jessica has picked it up from the management team, and she assigned it to the case owner to handle it within 1 day. And she posted the comment that this is a big client, so maybe I will add a note and say, Harvey, please respond in time, this time. And behind this, you can say, save the note. She will add it to the customer request. And as you can see, that more details will be handed over to the customer request. So it's as easy as that. She added a note to the customer request, and anyone who will open the customer request now will see the latest status of that customer request. And just to verify, let's go again to Rachel's Canvas app, and she has added information to this request. Add the note, and there it will be visible. Okay, then let's go back to the customer now, because the customer has not been contacted yet, right? And the customer is able to log on to the portal. So let's see what the customer will see now on the case that we have on the where it was regarded to. Because Jessica assigned it to the case owner, it's updated here, as you can see. Jessica Pearson assigned to case owner 7 minutes ago. So now I know, without me having to contact the law firm, that this is the latest status, and within 1 day, and you can change it, of course, to make it more user-friendly, we will have contact with Harvey. So that's from a customer perspective. No one had to give up extra time to contact the firm and to inform the customer. It's just incorporated in the business process, all with an adaptive card in Teams, a Microsoft Flow, Power Automate Flow, and the Canvas app for Rachel. So I'm gonna then again reserve some time on the Canvas app. Are there any questions? Don't forget to unmute yourself. No, then I'm gonna continue. The last case that I wanted to handle, of course, is that of Harvey. And Harvey, he doesn't want to be bothered with every customer contact. He just wants to be informed when something is done on a case that he owns. So it's very easy for him to achieve that. Let me show you this is his requirement. I only want to be informed if someone does something where a case that I have been involved in. So let's go to Harvey's inbox. Again, no email needed because we work in Microsoft Teams. There it is. And as you can see that he has been chatted. And what has happened now, because Jessica wanted me to be informed, we have posted an adaptive card to Harvey, and within Harvey, he now has the option to see the data of the customer request in any time that he wants. And these are his previous requests. And he can just skip directly to the contact request from the adaptive card. And he can quickly open the customer request if he wanted to see the information here. So this is the contact request. You can see in the timeline anything that has happened thus far. And you can see that during the customer case, this is just another way to show the information that the customer themselves can also see in the portal, the Power Apps portal. So it's pretty straightforward, right? When Jessica has assigned it to anyone, we want to inform that person, and then we post an adaptive card using Flow, but just to this user, because it's not relevant for the whole Microsoft Teams team. And this user gets an adaptive card, and they can check on it any way that they want. See the contact request or open the case related to this contact request. Okay. Any questions about the case of Harvey?
Halo, halo.
Yes.
Mówicie o tej migracji?
Okay. No question? Okay. So I've also opened up Mentimeter also to give up some questions. So basically we have done this looking at the as-is situation. This one, we have taken a perspective on all issues that we had, and we created a new should-be situation, just using the components of the Power Platform. So here we use the Power Apps portal for the customer to be informed, and here we use the Canvas apps and model-driven apps to use their data. We've used Microsoft Teams and adaptive cards to present the data in a more user-friendly way, but always give them the option to go more in depth. And again, the customer will be able to show the recent situation on the portal. So I will give one moment for questions. And otherwise, of course, I'm gonna again ask you also to give us feedback on this session so we can improve it. If you have any questions, I will stay here for a few minutes before going to the next session, the lunch session. Also use Microsoft Teams to post any questions if you don't think a microphone will be open. No, then thank you for
Django,
your...
that was a brilliant session. I loved it.
Nice,
So
thanks.
I don't see any questions yet.
Okay. Now, hopefully this was just a glance at what the Power Platform and its components could do. I've shortened this session because I also wanted to show information about Power BI and other things. But yeah, sometimes we need to take into account that we only have 45, 50 minutes. So yeah, hopefully a first glance at what the Power Platform can add to your business applications.
All right, everyone. I think that if you do have questions, you can simply write them down or read Django over to his Twitter.
Yes, definitely.
And otherwise, we wish you a pleasant lunch right now, and we will be back at 1 p.m. Central European summertime. So please be sure you adjust.
Yes, check the schedule.
Check the schedule, check your local time zone, and calculate the differences. Right. Thank you very much so far.
Thanks.